Okay, I promised we were going to talk about the Killing Joke. I timed this yesterday and I went way over, so we're going to do it now because I think it's important, and then we'll get to the rest of my stuff, okay? This is the dangerous part of not fixing the little things that are wrong in comics. Show of hands, does anyone know what the Killing Joke is? Okay. It is a one-shot written by Alan Moore focusing on the Joker. I've practiced this presentation and I've given this exact rant about 1,000 times. I will never be able to practice the anger out. I'm so sorry. I promise not to yell into the mic. Alan Moore took Barbara Gordon, who was at the time one of the Batgirls. She was on a rotating. She was sometimes Batgirl, sometimes she wasn't. It depends who was writing Batman at the time. No, go ahead. Correct me.
Yeah. They had already retired her as Batgirl. The
Great.
Batgirl special because they planned to write the Killing Joke. So
perfect. Thank you.
The previous Batgirl, Bet Kane, hadn't appeared in like 2 decades. So
great.
She was consistently Batgirl until they retired her for the Killing Joke.
Thank you very much. Yes.
So I see a pattern. Is it all DC?
No, I've got problems with Marvel too. We just haven't gotten to me talking about the overpowered woman trope. I'm so sorry. It does feel like that. It feels like that when you're researching it too. The Killing Joke was written by Alan Moore, who had no intentions. He had no intentions with this book other than shock factor. He has said since he regrets writing it. He was not saying anything profound. He has even said someone should have reined him in, which was the job of editor Len Wein, who, when asked by Moore how he felt about paralyzing Barbara Gordon, he said, "Cripple the bitch." Okay, I promise.
And there it is, AKAPADers. What might be the worst comic book take of all time. This is a TikTok account. The woman, the female, her name is Film Princess. I don't know what she does. I think she has a link tree, or I ain't go through. I think there's a YouTube thing, but I maybe important enough to do panels. No one asked me to do panels, so I guess she's got a one up on this cat. But guys, Peter A. DeLuca here, aka Pad69. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel of channels. I gotta start saying it. I mean, if these are the influencers, the future of American comic book commentary, if this is the future, you guys better subscribe, leave a comment, give me a like. If you have an animal, like a hamster, a gerbil, a ferret, show this video to them. Promote this video. Because when channels like mine are gone, when I just decide to move on and get another hobby, comic book commentary is going to be run by you-know-who. Now, I'm not saying I don't know this person. They could be nice. It could be... I don't know. I just know this opinion sets fire to the marrow of my bones. So, let's touch on this. Kill the bitch, cripple the bitch, cripple the bitch. Len Wein says that to Alan Moore. She insinuates that Alan Moore should have been checked along the way. I agree with that. Editors should oversee the work that they're in charge of. They should. But here's the thing. At the time when Killing Joke was written, well, it was a what-if story. Later, it got rolled in because it was popular and impactful. Why was it popular and why was it impactful? Well, it's the greatest portrayal of the Joker at that time the world has ever seen. It's the greatest definition of the relationship of Batman, Jim Gordon, and the Joker we had ever seen. It's got the Brian Boland artwork. I prefer the original coloring. I don't like the Boland colors. So, we hit it on the tears. And it's like incredible artwork, iconic cover, best portrayal of the Joker, best portrayal of the relationships. We have this evolution of the Joker. At this point, post-Killing Joke, the Joker was all in on horrific crimes. He became more sadistic through Killing Joke. Now, we can say Miller did something similar in DKR. Now, he did, but this got rolled into continuity. So the Joker going back. Now, we gotta remember, we're in a post-crisis DC. So, the Joker, the historic Joker of the DC Comics timeline at the time, this was the guy, they rolled this in. And why do I bring up the what if thing? What importance is it that this was once a what if story that get retconned into DC continuity? When it's a what if, do whatever you want. They had success with DKR. They had success with other deviations of their characters. This is building the brand of the Elseworlds, which dominated late 90s, early 2000s DC publishing. So much so, the philosophy of Elseworlds took over the publishing position of DC Comics, where everything became an Elseworlds, and that's exactly where we are today. Killing Joke is almost a foundational piece of art. Dare I say it? I know I argue a lot about what's art and what's not. Killing Joke is one of the books that transcends. Alan Moore, his fantastic mind, is a part of many books that transcend the medium that we are given. It becomes art. That's him. That's why we hold him to such a high regard. Now, she says that Alan Moore has regretted telling the story. AKAPADers, Alan Moore, the older he's got, the more wild the interviews have become. He's more reflective. We see this. This is very much in common with a lot of creators when they age. The views of their work and the way it might become cultural and impactful on a positive or negative way, it erodes. Their opinions shift. So we have to. I don't care what you say about your work. I will judge what your work is. It is not up to the creators. The creators give up that right as soon as it's released. Now, she likes to say that the story doesn't have a point. Well, okay. Here's the point. And this, AKAPADers, I thought this was low-hanging fruit comic book knowledge. Like, low-hanging fruit. Like, it's not even low-hanging fruit. Maybe it's like, well, sometimes, like, vines grow from, like, trees, and it's like waist level. It's like a hip level hanging fruit. Okay? It's this. Let me tell you. The Killing Joke is one day. One day that we get to see of the Joker, of his life. The one day goes bad. One bad day. That one bad day is enough to tip him over the edge, and he becomes the Joker because he has nothing else. Everything he has is gone. The Joker is a personality through, chemicals, and but it's a personality that takes over his current psyche. It's the inner voice that he always had, and when it's tormented enough, that voice wins. And we see that in The Killing Joke. So when this was first seen and people read it, what does it have? I'm talking the original. What's it? When did it come out? 86, 88 maybe? 1988? What did it have? 14, 13 printings? They couldn't stop printing and selling the freaking book because everyone that walked into a comic book shop at the time had to buy it. You have to buy it. You have to read it. People read this in their cars. They read it on the way home. They left work early to pick it up to read it. This was substantial, and this is a part of DC's overhaul, everything post-crisis, where they were unifying all the timelines, all the characters, but digging into, and we have to say it at the time, the Joker was always popular, but he was somewhat of a B and C list character at the time. Even during the Batman live action series. Cesar Romero had to look who he competed with just for screen time on that show. All the Batman villains were popular. It was a popular rogues gallery. But it really was The Killing Joke that forever put the Joker against Batman in this fashion. Every single movie, animated series, stage production, radio show, everything tries to recreate this and the impact of these moments in, well, it's a thin book. It's a quick read, believe it or not. Shows you the genius of Alan Moore. To take this position that the industry should have known better, that this practice should be wiped from the industry. No, this girl doesn't even know the history of Barbara Gordon. She says she's researched this. She gets corrected from the audience. Here's the wild thing. What happened with Barbara Gordon was so impactful, so influential, that even someone, Gail Simone, probably wrote the best Oracle Barbara Gordon we've ever seen in her Birds of Prey series. Isn't that funny? Someone who would probably champion and echo these ideas for social media clout, or maybe even believe them at a certain point. Okay? But Barbara Gordon as Oracle is a version of that character that reigned through DC Comics for about 2 decades. And when it was gone, and when that got retconned and everything with the New 52, people wanted Oracle back. Oracle was I guess like the original like linchpin of the Batman family. So with all of that, there was a lot of good that came out of Killing Joke, and let's just say there's a level of shock value put into it, like edgelord stuff. Like let's just say that's inside of Killing Joke. Well, that makes for good entertainment.